Assalamu alaikum, guys. Getting reports hearing that the SDF, the Syrian Democratic Forces, the Kurds in northeastern Syria, have agreed to a deal with the Free Syrian Army and Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, HTS, the dominating forces in Syria, on a lasting peace deal, unity deal. Basically, it goes like this. The SDF agreed to dissolve their militias, the PKK, YPG, whatever you want to call them. The Iraqi Kurds will be deported to Iraq. The 50% of the oil revenue in the Kurdish areas will be given to the Syrian country, and the rest, the 50 other percent, will be kept with the Kurds. They'll be governed by the Free Syrian Army, but they'll have semi-autonomy to make laws and whatnot. And a few other things, and I just wanted to put my thoughts in place here. It looks like the religious Kurdish Muslims were part of the rebels, were able to sway some of the Kurds, according to some of the reports I'm reading. And I'll link the person who's reporting all this is an authentic source, a guy that's over there. He has a lot of contacts there. But anyway, my thoughts are, I don't know why the rebels are rushing to make a deal like this, because President Trump is going to take office soon, next month, I believe. And he's already said that he wants to withdraw all support from the Kurdish militias, the Marxist communists that are occupying northeast Syria and sided with Assad. The whole Aleppo siege didn't happen without Kurdish support. When that withdrawal happens, the Kurds won't have any supporters unless Israel steps in to help. So they really have no leverage. So I don't know why we're bucking to some of these demands of theirs, and I'll tell you what my issues are. I have a couple issues. One is, as a Muslim, we should want Islamic law established in Syria. There's a lot of, the Muslims were the ones that fought to liberate it, right? The Syrian rebels are Sunni Muslims that fought, gave their lives. A lot of martyrs died because they wanted to see Islam established, not some communist laws or democracy or anything like that. Islamic law should be established, right? And if the Kurds are given semi-autonomy, they make their own laws, then my fear is that they won't be Islamic laws. They'll be man-made laws. And you're replacing one tyrannical system with another one. Any system that isn't Allah's system is a tyrannical system. So that's my main concern. My second concern is the 50% oil revenue. It's being split up based on ethnicity. I don't understand that, because under true Islamic unity, because we're supposed to unite under Islam according to Allah, according to what Allah says in the Quran. If you differ among each other, refer to Allah and His Messenger, Sallallahu if you believe. Remember that verse in the Quran? So Islam unites us. Well, what this does, when you let the Kurds keep 50% of the oil revenue, and then the rest of the country just gets the other 50%. What if the Kurds don't need the revenue? What if the revenue is needed elsewhere, like on the border with Israel? What if we need to send the funds there? The revenue should just go where it's needed. It shouldn't just stay in one area because a certain ethnicity is over there. And going back to the autonomy, the semi-autonomy that they have, the governors and the leaders of those Muslim territories should just be whoever the best Muslims are. It shouldn't be based on ethnicity. If you have 10% Palestinians by the Israeli border, and then like 50-60% Arabs on the northwestern side of Syria, and the rest, the 30-40% Kurds on the northeast, it shouldn't just be the Kurds rule the Kurds, the Palestinians rule the Palestinians, and the Syrians rule the Syrians. No. It should be whoever the best Muslims are, whoever has Islam's best interest at heart, should be the rulers of those areas. So that means non-Kurds can be ruling Kurds. The Kurds could be ruling non-Kurds. It doesn't matter what the ethnicity is. And we know this because the Prophet ﷺ ordered that the Quraysh be the leaders of the Muslim territories in the Prophet's time period. So including the Ansar, who were in Medina, were ruled by Quraysh. And that was because they were the best Muslims. They were the ones who did hijrah. The Ansar didn't get to do hijrah. And this makes the Muhajirin, who were Quraysh, a level above the Ansar. The Ansar are the very next best in our Ummah. So the way Islam says is, the best Muslim rules the country. And the governors are just the next best Muslims, right? It shouldn't just be like, oh, the Kurds have a Kurdish majority population here. We don't want to keep fighting them, so let's make a deal where they can govern themselves with their own laws. No, because Allah tells us to fight until the whole religion is for Islam. So that whole region should be integrated into Syria, and that's another part of the deal. The SDF agreed to integrate their forces into the FSA, so they're going to dissolve their forces. That's good news. That's how it should be. Every single Muslim should be under the banner of Islam and united. And I have no problem with them having their own Kurdish flag, their tribe, along with the main flag of Syria and the Islamic flag, the white flag with the black shahada on it, kind of like the Afghanistan flag. So these are my kind of concerns about this deal that the SDF made with the FSA. We're rushing to make the deal for some reason, even though Trump's going to get the troops out. We don't have to rush. We have Turkey backing the Muslims there, We'll see what happens, I guess. My other concern with Syria is that, I'm hearing reports that Russians are negotiating with the new Syrian authority for keeping the bases there, the military bases there. And there shouldn't be any foreign troops on Syrian soil. So the United States, Israel, and Russian troops should all leave the country, kind of like what you saw in Afghanistan. After what Russia did in Syria, they shouldn't be allowed to stay in Syria. They offer nothing to us there. So that's another concern I have, because if you have other military forces in your country, you're not really truly free. You're not really truly free. So that's another concern I have. Another concern is the Israeli occupation expanding into the southern Syrian territories. The new Syrian authorities haven't said anything about that yet, and I don't know why. Maybe because they haven't gone that deep in. They've remained in the buffer zone, contrary to some of the propaganda you're hearing. I think that there should be some kind of something addressed in that regard, and you got to be able to read between the lines. Obviously, the Syrians just fought a 13-year war. They need to recover, let them unify, because the rebels, I don't know if the rebels are unified yet. The FSA and HTS are not together yet, to my knowledge. So it remains to be seen what happens there. Are they going to fight each other for control? Hopefully not. May Allah unite them under Islam. So that's another concern of mine. A lot of people are, wondering what they're going to do with Israel, the Syrian opposition. And let's just be honest, brothers. Assad didn't attack Israel for 55 years, I believe. And you guys are expecting the opposition to attack Israel in, 3 days? It's not going to happen, guys. Let the brothers recover and strengthen themselves, rebuild, just like the Afghans, just like the pass we gave to Afghanistan. And we'll see what happens. Anyway, I just want to give you my thoughts. I've been studying this war since its inception in 2011. I've been studying a lot of wars. If you are interested in learning more about some of the other conflicts that are happening in the world, in the Sahel, Somalia, Kashmir, Yemen, etc., go ahead and subscribe. I plan to talk more about these things, and I'll keep following the Syrian situation going forward.